So we're continuing our discussion on how the calendar draw item function works, and we've discussed the structure of the JSON data that is made available to this function. So you can see here that now we've constructed date string, which is this for the current item that is being drawn. Date string is going to be a string that's in this format: year, then followed by month, then followed by day. So now what we're doing is we are basically going now to read a value out of this this JSON array over here for the current date string, and if that value is not undefined, in other words if it exists, then we need to draw this event information on the calendar. So for example, if we are currently drawing the item for say January the 2nd in 2012, then type of cal data and then 2012-1-2 will in fact be undefined, so we're going to that would cause us to skip over this if block over here. But when we're drawing, for example, the item for January the 1st, which would be this square over there, then this if statement over here, cal data and then 2012-1-1 will in fact be defined. So now we're going to actually jump into this if block over here. So we're setting temp data equal to cal data 2012-1-1. So in other words, temp data is now going to be set to this value over there, which is an array. So now we're going to loop over all the items in the array. So we're going to go for I equals 0 to the length of temp data. So since it's a zero-based array, we're going to loop from 0 to I is less than the length of temp data, and then I++ to increment to the next item in the array. And here you can see we're taking the inner HTML of element and adding onto it a BR to move to the next line, and then we're putting in a hyperlink using dialog.style, so that's going to give us the right class name for this hyperlink. Then we're setting the href of the hyperlink to just a hash, which means nothing. Then we're setting the bubble help on the hyperlink to tempdata.detail, which means that we're setting the bubble help to this property over there. And then we're basically saying that the onClick event is going to call a JavaScript function called editData, which we'll define a little later on here, and it's going to pass into editData the ID of the element that we're doing. So that's going to pass in this value ID over there. And then what we'd like to do is prevent that click event from bubbling up. So we call the $e stop event function. So $e is one of the functions in the Alpha 5 JavaScript library, and it allows you to stop the event bubbling upward. Then finally you can see that inside the href, inside the anchor tag, we're actually putting the name, which is the event description, and that too is coming out of the JSON data that was passed in. So there's the name over there, and then finally basically we close off the anchor tag. So this is how we constructed the HTML that gets added on to the inner HTML of the element that we're currently drawing. And then here is the definition of the edit event function, and right now we're just simply putting up an alert that says edit event and then the number of the event. So let's go here. You can see that we wrote this HTML into the inner HTML of this element, and when I click on that it says edit event 1 and then edit event 2 and then finally edit event 3. So this very simple example over here shows us how we were able to easily draw information onto the calendar based on this simple JSON data structure over here. So let's pause now and pick it up in the next video.